a lot of high achievers, Lex Friedman, Huberman, all these people, they would rather be hungry, alert, and attentive than they would be fed, satiated, and potentially.
Yeah, you can't be lazy when you're hungry, bro.
Excellent point. And this is the reason why I always tell people don't eat breakfast. Hi, I'm Chris James, and today I'm going to do a short reaction to a video I saw of Andrew Tate talking about how he practices some form of fasting. So I'm really interested to see, what type of fasting he does, and just kind of I'll give you guys my opinion on what it is he's talking about. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I like to stay fast. Even my boxing style is all speed. So I don't eat more to get bigger. One meal a day is good. I like being hungry most of the day. It keeps my brain firing. When you're hungry, you're on. When you're full, you're not. I feel better when I'm hungry.
Okay, so off the bat, he's firing from the hip. Boom, 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 boom. For those who don't know, Andrew Tate is actually a world class kickboxer. He's a world champion, and he talks about the clarity. He likes to stay hungry. There is something special about when you're quote unquote hungry. What a lot of people don't understand is the gut actually houses brain cells. So you have your brain and then you have your mind. Okay. And if you've ever heard the saying, I got a gut feeling, that's not just something people say. It's true, right? We feel it. We can feel it in our gut. We can feel when someone's lying. I feel it in my gut. We can feel when I'm not supposed to go down that dark alleyway. I could feel it in my gut. So the gut, the second mind, it does a lot of thinking and a lot of processing. And when you're eating all the time, it's like you're distracting a large percentage of your processing power because now it's digesting food. So what he's speaking to is the great benefit that you get from being hungry and essentially recouping all of those resources. So that's good stuff.
The comfort thing, the two sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic, is rest and digest. That's what it's called. It's a big system in the body. You think from an evolutionary standpoint, you get up, you go about stuff, you do shit. Then when you finish, you come, you sit, you relax. So if you want to be a high functioning individual, but you eat, you're kind of eating, you're sending mixed signals, trying to smash your emails after eating. A lot of high achievers, Lex Friedman, Huberman, all these people, they would rather be hungry, alert, and attentive than they would be fed, satiated, and potentially.
Yeah, you can't be lazy when you're hungry, bro.
Excellent point. And this is the reason why I always tell people don't eat breakfast. Number one, by eating breakfast, you're stunting the body's ability to eliminate first thing in the morning, which is a major problem. You keep doing that year in and year out, and now you're going to back up your system. You're causing these micro traumas every day, and over time it builds up and will start to cause disease in the body. But if you want to be efficient and you want to be effective, early in the morning, especially as you're starting your work day or whatever the case may be, if you eat, you start the day off already on the bad foot. So also, what I typically do is I know I tell y'all, do your best to wait at least 5 hours. So typically that would mean people are going to start eating around 11 or noon. I usually wait till about 4 p.m. before I eat anything, or later. Because my work day usually ends closer to 5 or 6. It just depends. But I usually won't eat anything till much later in the day. When I used to work as a construction, I was an electrician, I would eat lunch at maybe 11:30 or whatever the case was, and I would be exhausted. There was always this running joke that, construction workers weren't any good after lunch. We would do 90% of the work before lunch, and then after lunch, you do 10% of the work in the same amount of time, essentially. And it's just true. So if you want to stay sharp and you want to perform at a higher level, whether you're looking to earn more, whether you've got a big project or a big client that you're looking to impress, or if you have a lot of work that you need to get done, this is a great practice. Now, obviously, at first it's going to be very uncomfortable not eating. You're gonna have to give your body an opportunity to adjust, but it will. Trust me, it will adjust eventually if you keep with this practice. And then once you do that, you'll find that you're much more efficient, like across the board, which is incredible.
You're hungry. You're hungry. Just don't eat and be hungry. You can't be lazy. Now you go and you go do shit.
Into all of the myths of like these meals, everything is honest. But I'm telling
We'll do a podcast.
Yeah, that's
you,
it.
he'll tell you all about the fitness thing.
Yeah, he'll tell you. And I'd actually like to watch that as well because I don't understand why I do.
Yeah,
it. I don't understand why I do what I do. I just know what makes me feel best. That's the only reason I do it.
I can't argue with that.
That's an interesting comment that Andrew just made. He really just admitted that he doesn't even understand the mechanics by it. He just does it intuitively. This speaks to an individual who is in tune with their body. And this is one of the keys that I have been trying to teach to you all for the past 6 years or whatever it's been. To not just to listen to your body, but to learn how to interpret what your body is telling you. Because oftentimes people say, oh, just listen to your body. That is a correct statement. However, most of the times we misinterpret what the body is trying to convey. So understanding what the body is trying to convey, then listening to it, right? And then applying. And so what he's telling you is, and as a world-class athlete, you know, these men are at the upper echelons of athleticism, concentration, focus, etc. And what he's essentially telling you is, at being one of the best in what he did, this is how he got to that level of performance. We're all capable of it. There's nothing special about Andrew Tate or any of these other world-class athletes. It's all about decisions, being consistent, having a regimen, not making excuses, and any of us can achieve this type of stuff. So this is really, really good information. Let's keep going.
the basics you say. It's about burn more than you put in your mouth, basically. No?
If you put more money in your bank than you took out, you'd accrue interest. You'd gain credit, and that's what body fat is.
Yeah,
People,
basically.
they want to argue so much, and I'm like, reduce your calories by 10%. Then what? Well, it either works or it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't work. Well, do it.
This is a really simplistic way to break this down. I could definitely get a little bit more nuanced, but essentially what he's saying is, if you put $100 in your bank account and you only spend $50, and then you put $100 in your bank account, your bank account is going to keep going up. You're putting in more than you're taking out, right? So he's comparing it to what you're eating versus the energy you're expending. I'll take it to the next level because that is true. That is true. However, the nuance of it is, because we're in a world of processed foods and frankenfoods and genetically modified foods, if you are eating very calorically dense foods, the impact on it isn't as simple as calories in, calories out. You know what I mean? These foods are exponentially more damaging, or will cause you to have more weight gain than what we really understand. So in order for what he's saying to hold more true, I also would recommend that you lean more towards a whole food diet. And a lot of people, get this confused when I say whole food. I typically say whole food plant-based. The reason I say whole food plant-based is because you can eat whole food and consume meat products, right? Like that still could be considered a whole food. But in general, you guys want to be consuming whole foods. And if you're consuming whole foods, then this will hold more true, and you'll be able to, just eat less, expend more energy, and lose weight.
Until what?
Enough, yeah.
Until it works. Then yeah. And people don't want to hear that, but
Because they want to word it in different ways and sell their packages. And
well, is it not because I'm, fasting, keto, low carb, all this? You're like, relax, mate. Just
Yeah. Calories in, calories out. But I'm not necessarily even trying to stay skin. I just prefer, if I eat, I want to sleep.
I mean, you're quite big. You have to have a big dinner, though.
I eat till I'm full. I eat a lot of meat. I'd like to think that 80% of my calories come from meat. I'd like to think that. So I try and avoid, I'll have a little bit. If there's a meal, I'll have a few fries and as much meat as I can.
Yeah.
But in general, that's it. I don't drink sugary drinks. I try not to drink my calories. I only drink water.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then
Andrew, he's got a very simple approach to this. It sounds like he's leaning more keto. Once again, I don't think he's doing any of this because it's a fat diet or he's on a plan. I think he's doing what makes him feel good and helps him perform well. I actually did a clarification on this in a video a couple weeks ago, talking about the fact that I don't demonize meat. I don't demonize people who are on these diets. If you're going to be eating meat, you want to be eating high quality meat. That's the most important thing. Also, He's not stuffing his face all the time. And people get this mistaken. He said about 80% of his calories comes from meat or whatever the case is. Well, guess what? He also just told you that he's pretty much only doing OMAD. You know what I mean? He doesn't eat a lot. The other thing that I think is key, and I don't want you guys to miss this, is he said he eats until he's full. You know, he's like, I eat until I'm full. He didn't say that I overeat. He didn't say that I'm gluttonous. He didn't say that I eat when I'm not hungry. He didn't say I emotionally eat. See, the reason we have so many issues is that we eat when we go to a party. Just cause it's a party, there's food, we eat. We eat when we're sad. We eat when we're happy. We eat, we're full, but we want to finish the rest of the food on our plate. So we continue to eat. We practice gluttony. And what he's saying is, he eats till he's satiated. He eats mostly, meat is what he's saying. He drinks a lot of water, so not a lot of processed foods and sugars. And he limits fries, right? So this is a diet that will be conducive to health because even though he really only eats meat is what he's saying, he's not eating meat 3 and 4, 5 times a day. Right? When I ate meat, I was eating meat with every single meal. Every meal. And of course, then maybe I'd have a little snack, a burrito or a taco or something, and I have meat there too. I didn't eat meatless meals. I didn't eat raw meals. You know what I'm saying? It was so rare for me to have a salad. And if I did, it had egg, it had cheese, it had meat on it. So this is really simplistic approach, but I think it comes from him learning his body. If something makes you gassy, if something makes you lethargic, pay attention and adjust accordingly.
By the time I have a bunch of coffees, a bunch of sparkling water, and maybe a cigar, I'm not hungry anyway.
Science here.
That'd be a whole nother video.
Top
The
G diet.
meal plan of
Top
G diet.
I've actually named we've got a healthy food bar and a protein shake, and there's a few names, and I've called them the Top G.
Bro, I have to have one
The
now.
Top G.
Let me have a Top G.
All right. So I think this is pretty much the meat of this video. I thought this was really, really interesting. I think it's important for us to pay attention to people who have, kind of elite status, not elite like the Illuminati elite, but, elite athletes, actors and actresses that are able to keep their body in these amazing conditions. If you guys pay attention, a lot of like supermodels, actors. So I think Terry Crews, Naomi Campbell, talked about how they use like intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day or whatever. And they don't necessarily always talk about it like, oh, it's fasting. Terry Crews does, but sometimes they'll just say, oh, I'll wake up and I usually don't eat until, maybe 3 or 4 o'clock. I'll start with some fruit and then I'll have 1 meal later on in the evening. And you're just like, oh, they just eat normal. No, the nuances of how they do it all matter. Anyway, I hope you guys got something good from watching this. If you want to see more reaction videos like this, like, subscribe, and as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time.